This video for Breaking Down the Ring is brought to you by Chawla Legal Group Estate Planning. Estate planning is for everyone. Whether you're worth $4,000 or $40 million, estate planning can help protect you, your family, and your assets. To register for an upcoming free workshop today, go to chawlalegal.com/workshops or call 586-273-7157. Hurry, seating is limited to 6 per workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Breaking Down the Ring, and on the line we have the man formerly known as Hakeem Zayn, currently known as Impact Wrestling motherfucking superstar, Rohit Raju. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
If you'd grab me.
It is so good to be back on the show.
Welcome,
How
motherfucker.
How are you people doing today?
We're doing good, man. Not as good as you. So last time you were on the show, we were talking about how you were just getting started at Impact. You were hoping to get a contract from the boys up there, as they're doing a lot of stuff out of Canada now, when they were originally down in Florida. And you were hoping to get that contract, and motherfucker, you got that goddamn contract, dude. So congratulations officially on the show from us to it. Obviously, we have said it to you in person or over social media. But yes, from the show, congratulations on that. And how is it? How is it being in there in Impact?
It's actually pretty cool. I'm a big fan of being there. It gets frustrating sometimes because I want more, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. And but I've been pitching a lot of ideas, and they've actually been using a lot of ideas. And they've been handing me opportunities, and I've been crushing those opportunities. So I'm hoping that they obviously see that and realize that and start to move me up in the card, or at least move the team up in the card, or do something. And I've had conversations with the guys, so that's one of the most frustrating things sometimes is watching everyone else around you get, these mad pushes, or, they're getting merchandise and you're kind of stuck in the same spot, but you're just as good or different or offer something that they don't in return. So that, it's great being there, but it's also like any job, you're at the entry level, you're working your ass off to try to, move up the ladder. So that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. But the fact that I get to go, they fly me up to Mexico, I've wrestled in New York, all these places, and they're flying me there on their dime, and I'm getting a chance to wrestle, and then guys that I grew up watching on TV are my agents, and just shooting the shit with them. Sometimes it's kind of surreal. I got to pinch myself and be like, man, this is kind of cool, just going out late night in Philly at the sub place, hanging out with RVD and shooting shit with him, and then just weird stuff like that. It's like, man, this is neat. I didn't picture myself doing this a few years ago, but here I am. So, and hopefully there's a lot more.
So speaking of like hanging out, shooting the shit and everything with RVD and stuff like that. So you said to yourself, there's a whole bunch of agents and everything like that, people that you've looked up to, but your ideas are being pitched to those same agents. You say they're being receptive to it, not just how they're being receptive to it, but what type of things are they saying to you in the reception? Because obviously it's cool to have your ideas looked at, but when someone that you've seen, that you've grown up with, that you've idolized, or you've seen things, or you've taken some ideas from, it's way different to hear words that they say of encouragement to you. Is there something specifically that has stuck out most from one of these agents that you have just like, holy shit, he said this to me, and I just feel so damn proud of it?
You try not to you always try to keep that level head and not like have those mark out moments. But I had a spot in, I did something, it was myself and Raj against Fala and Scarlett, and we had this match and we were putting it together, and I put like a lot of it together, and I think Petey was our agent for that, and he was very cool, and he put some tweaks on it. And then I had this one spot where I throw Raj, because she does this like stink face thing, and I throw Raj out of the ring. I'm like, yeah, do me. And then I close my eyes, and then I end up being Fala. But the way we did it, like everyone in the back popped, and everyone was like, oh man, that was great. And like people that never usually don't give you compliments were like, man, that whole spot was awesome, yada, yada, yada. And then when I had my match, Lance Storm was like, I want to recreate that. And he just was talking to me, putting that over big time. And I was always a fan of Lance Storm, always a fan of, if I can be serious for a minute,
right.
that I loved his WCW run. And, of course, his ring work speaks for itself. So listening to him put me over in that aspect, saying, yeah, that was the best thing part of the match. That's what everyone's going to remember. You had a moment. That's pretty cool. You know, you try not to let it, oh, hey, let Storm said that to me. That's awesome. You try not to be like that. But when you, at the end of the day, I do take that as, man, that's actually pretty sweet that he enjoyed that. He enjoyed something that I did. He enjoyed something that was, you know, kind of my idea. And it's pretty cool to have that be acknowledged from someone, to me, who I respect and think is great, always been a great worker, and can probably still be, if he went out in the ring, could be a better worker than half the guys out there.
Right. So Impact has been through a lot of changes since you have been there. When you first got on, they were in the Paramount Network, and now they went to, wow, it completely just slipped my mind.
Isn't it the Outdoor Network?
No, it wasn't
Pursuit Channel.
Pursuit. And they're also, though, they're on Twitch, and that was one of the huge things that they were pushing. Is if you have an internet connection, you have Impact Wrestling, and it's obviously on every Friday night on Twitch. How is that as far as a performer? How is that as far as a performer to see all of those different transitions to being on a internet show, kind of, to an extent, that is completely live? Because that's even something that's not happening in WWE, because their NXT shows are all taped. You know what I'm saying? So when they're putting on some of the things on Twitch, you know, so how is that for you as a performer?
I think it's a smart idea. I still think you need a strong TV channel. Mm-hmm. I do believe that, but I think having Twitch as an alternative is really great, because everyone's on the internet. And Twitch comes with what you get on your PS4. You can have it on your computer. You can have it on your phone. So you can have it. People just need to be able to realize that they already have it in the palm of their hand. They just have to download it, and it's free. The only thing I think it really hurts is the older demographic, people that might be 35 and older, that aren't so hip to the internet, that don't have a PS4, and barely know how to work their smartphone. That's the type of people, maybe a lot of old school wrestling fans that still want to watch wrestling, but they want to do it when they're flicking through channels. And sometimes that may hurt as well, because people will be like, oh, what's this, wrestling's on? Let me stop and watch it. There's plenty of times I'd hear people like, yeah, I was flicking through channels when we were on Pop TV, and they're like, yeah, I saw you on TV. That was pretty cool. And so Twitch is something you have to go and pursue and seek and know about it, whereas having a strong TV channel is something that people can come across. So I think that might be one of the strengths and weaknesses right there. However, streaming stuff is super popular nowadays. I do think they're headed in the right direction. Having the Pursuit channel, people still watch it on that if they have that channel, and we try to hammer it home that, yes, if you have the internet, you can have access to Impact, and that hopefully people realize that. And it's not hard. It's not hard to get Twitch. Download it, look up Impact channel, and boom, there you go.
So one of your current runs right now is with the Deaners in Impact Wrestling. The Desi Hit Squad are taking on the Deaners, but obviously you've known one of the Deaners for quite a long time. How is it like working with? Is there a comfort level there? Do you feel like these matches are some of the better matches that you've been able to put on Impact, or is it something where you're just sitting back going, this is just fucking cool?
A little bit of A and B.
Okay.
I remember we had something. They had something planned for us, but it wasn't really long, and I'm like, well, you guys aren't doing anything, we're not doing anything. So I remember Jimmy Jacobs was walking through the hall, and I said, hey, why don't we do this with us? And you'll see some stuff that happens, like a lot of stuff in the next few weeks. I would just pitch to him, and I was sending him idea after idea after idea, and the guys would get together and we would brainstorm, because we're like, let's make it into a feud. And if you look at it, it's very old school. You know, you have two teams that are character teams. Mm-hmm. And you have these wild, loudmouth hillbilly rednecks, and then you have these pompous jerk, classy Indian guys, and it's such a great clash of styles. You know, Gama, he always has his fresh curtains on, his fresh gear. You know, we come out in like silks and stuff like that, and we're just a bunch of jerks. And then these guys are just loud, obnoxious. So it just works. And I enjoy doing it because I think it makes for good TV, and I think it makes for something different, almost like a throwback to the old school. And, of course, you know, I've known Cody for quite some time, but it's Jake, and the fact that I get to have my first big feud is with him, that's awesome to me. I really have been trying to push for a singles match for us. Whether it happens, I don't know. But that's what I've been trying to push for. And just because, not only because I think we tear it up on TV, but it's a big deal for him and I. We had a singles match in Ring of Honor together. Of course, like you said, we've grown up together. So that's mainly one of the big things. And there is a comfort level there. And I do think the matches that we've had, it's easier to showcase with them because they are easier to work with in some sense because they trust us and they believe in us, just like we trust and believe in them. And both teams are working towards the same goal. That's getting ourselves over, getting each other over, and showing that we're not just like enhancement talent guys, but we can go. And being able to be in the ring with those guys, it's a give and take, rather than just like, okay, you're here just to make this guy look good type stuff. So, yeah, it works out both ways, both personal and professional for me.
Which is awesome. Obviously, we've been trying to get fucking Cousin Jake on the show for quite a bit. He's just, you know, he's just always
elusive.
He's blowing me off, man. No, I'm just kidding. But speaking of the guy that did pull some strings and get you on the show with us the first time, our own Orlando Christopher. And you guys are having a match. I believe it's this Saturday.
This Saturday,
Lansing, Michigan, for American Lucha Libre, ALL. You're taking on Orlando Christopher, June 22nd, 2019. It's at the Fledge, 1800 Eureka Street, Lansing, Michigan. You guys can go to AmericanLuchaLibre.com, get yourself some tickets for this. When was the last time you wrestled, Mr. Orlando Christopher?
I cannot remember the last time him and I were in the ring together. It's been way too long, especially, I think the last time we were in the ring together, it was like probably something up in Toronto for like some 3-man, 4-man scramble, or like 6 guys were in it or something like that. And I honestly can't remember the last time him and I had a one-on-one match, but I can't wait because we both have come so far. You know, I've grown. I can't wait to get in the ring with him and show him that I've grown. And we just have a certain type of chemistry, and it just works. It just works. And he's one of the guys when I was first coming up, he would watch my matches. He would pull me aside and critique me. He would want me to get better. He would push me to get better. And then we had some great, like, tag feuds. And we've just, every time we've gotten in the ring, it's been pretty good. And then when we had our matches at, like, XICW, our singles matches, our first one, we got so much heat for it. It was so funny, but it was so good. Like, the crowd did not, they stood up on their feet the whole match, and it was such a great match. And then the cage match was good, and we've, you know, each time we've just gotten better and better. So I can't wait to finally get in the ring again. It's been way too long, and he's one of my favorite rivals. You know, in like just like Jake, he's one of my favorite guys to be in the ring with. It's awesome, and I can't wait. And I think we're going to be the main event. I know this show is a very old school type of show, but it doesn't matter. You know, put us in the ring. We're gonna tear it up either way. Whether we go old school or just balls to the wall, it's going to be a good match.
Would you suggest or say that Orlando then is probably one of your greatest opponents in the ring and one of the people that make you one of the better wrestlers, obviously, you know, through training and, you know, helping you get better, but as in just people that you have wrestled with, would you put him in as your number one, maybe even just top 3 people that you wrestled against?
Definitely top 3, top 5. Jake will always be my number 1 because that's just my homie, and every time we go in there, we crush it. But Orlando, he's definitely top 5. Just because, number 1, he's always, even to this day, you know, he knows he can tell me, hey, man, this was good, this was bad, and I'll listen to him because I appreciate his critiques and I appreciate his skill that much. Like, nothing changes, and nothing will change when we meet each other on Saturday. I know he's going to go in there 100%, and I'm going to go in there 100%, and I'll ask him afterwards, hey, what you think? Did you like it? Yay, nay, stuff like that, and he's going to be real with me, you know, and we'll both, I think we're on that level where we can both tell each other the same stuff, but I'll always listen to what he has to say because I think he has a smart mind for the business, and he can go in the ring. Even though he damn near kills himself, I saw him take a superplex off a freaking ladder.
Onto the boards.
No
Goddamn
canvas,
wood.
no ropes.
Jesus Christ, man. God damn it. Last time I talked to him, I'm pretty sure he told me he was hurting. And then I go on Instagram and I see him take that. I remember I think it was with Jake. I said, what the hell is he doing? Did you just see this shit? I said, God damn it, man. He ain't gonna be there on Saturday. He's gonna be fucked up. So, but no, man, I don't. That dude, he's impervious, man. He'll never die.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Every time that when we talked about any matches, it was like, Jesus, fuck, dude, you did that, yeah. And then he'll post more stuff. It's like, yeah, thumbtacks suck, but it's him taking a fucking shot into thumbtacks. Like, yeah, well, they do suck because they're in your back like fucking crazy. Again, everyone, ALL, American Lucha Libre, at the Fledge, 1800 Eureka Street, Lansing, Michigan. You go to AmericanLuchaLibre.com. This Saturday, June 22nd, 2019, Hakeem Zayn is going to be taking on Orlando Christopher, formerly known as Hakeem Zayn, now Rohit Raju. Question: you said that he is Orlando's just one of the guys that you can always talk to, that you appreciate his advice and his critique for. Is there anybody that you see coming up that talks to you, that asks you these type of questions, that you're able to be a kind of a mentor or a someone that just gives advice and critique to somebody else that we should be looking out for?
Oh, yeah. My favorite guys right now, Alex Weir, who is phenomenal, just athletic, and once he starts putting his matches together, like, he's a legit martial artist. His kicks are so crisp. The dude, he reminds me, it's funny, when I first went to XI, there was a group of us. It was myself, Orlando, Mannix, Painkillers, TD. We were always going out there and trying to have the best matches, and we were going out there doing some of the craziest shit. I went back to XI not too long ago, and now it's this whole new wave of people that have, like, taken over that role. And now I'm, like, in the role of the Scarbonis, where I'm watching them and trying to put on stories, tell stories, and not kill myself. And this dude did a shooting star off of a balcony at the last XI show. I shared it in one of my tweets.
Yeah.
And I think the kid's amazing. He's a Michigan guy. There's also Nolan Edwards, who's another Michigan guy. He goes up to Can-Am and trains. He's so crisp in the ring. He has a great gimmick when he uses it. It's very reminiscent of kind of Finn Balor, but he doesn't really bite off Finn Balor. It's almost like Donovan Donhausen, his, like, kind of weird, creepy painted gimmick. Another guy that has come a long way, that's improved so much. Tommy Vendetta, the guy's been wrestling, like, for a cup of coffee, but he just he soaks up everything. He has no reason to be that good, how good he is. He's just so crisp in the ring already, and he's phenomenal to watch. And as soon as he gets, more experience on his belt, there's not going to be stopping him. Then you have Karam, who's just some big jack dude. He reminds me of how Jake was, how people instantly gravitate towards him, how people want to be his friend, how people want to latch their claws in him because they see nothing but success. And he wants to learn and be good. And he's been coming off some really bad injuries, but he's always in the ring. He's always asking for critiques. He's always making the drives. So guys like that, to me, are the next big thing. And I want them to be the next big thing because they're all Michigan guys.
Right.
And for the longest time, you can ask Orlando, the Michigan guys get slept on a lot. It's finally about time, like Jake and I finally get out there, and then Aaron Orion's starting to get out there, and we're trying to get, we have such a great pool of talent here. It should have been recognized a long time ago, but it kind of gets overshadowed by, like, the Ohio guys a lot. And, they're great, too. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but we should get some love. It's about time that we should get some love, and that spotlight should be on us and those guys as well.
All right. Smitty has something he wants to say.
I said, well, you said that Michigan guys get overshadowed by Ohio guys. They get overshadowed by Canadians as well. Because, like, Michigan is so right there between Detroit. Well, Michigan's right there. My alcohol's starting to kick in. So, Michigan between Ohio.
Right there between Ohio and Canada.
Michigan's there. Michigan between Ohio and Canada, and, like, there's so much legendary guys that come out of Canada at this point. So people, I think the wrestling people wrestling promoters look toward Canada, and Ohio's got guys coming out of there. Like obviously within WWE, you got guys like Ziggler and the Miz. But then in Canada, you've got the legends like you got the Hart you got the Hart family out of there. You got stop looking at me that way, Z.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Yeah, what he was looking at. My alcohol's kicking in. My paranoia's kicking in. Now I'm getting smitty.
So I thought it was a question instead it was just a statement. Sorry.
No, but I know where he's going. Nowadays, too, Canada still has
Kenny Omega.
tremendous athletes. Like Aiden Prince is another guy who I think you can put in the ring. I've seen him be in the ring with Austin Aries. I've seen him be in the ring with Pete Dunne. And he's delivered every single time. Look at Tarek. Look at Brent Banks. I mean, half the super kick guys. But Tarek and Brent B, in my opinion, are amazing. Ethan Page, Josh Alexander. The only problem with nowadays for Canada, getting them over here, it's very strict because they need work visas. And so many of them get busted at the border where they don't even bother trying to come over here anymore. So it's kind of hit or miss when it comes to that. But I totally agree with you. For the longest time, the Jerichos, the Benoits, the Harts, the like Eddie Harts, all those guys were overshadowing everybody for a hot second there.
Speaking of Canadians, how is it working with Don Callis and Scott D'Amore?
It's, I've known Scott before he got back with Impact, and I was going up there before he got back with Impact. So for me, it's just a little bit different. It's, I think he's kind of harder on me because I do know him. So, and then Don's cool. Don always, he respects hard work. And then I've had conversations with him, and he's put me over. And, I'm pretty sure he wasn't blowing smoke up my ass. He doesn't have to. And I've never seen him blow smoke up people's asses, so to my knowledge. And so it's cool. I mean, they're my bosses, and, you always want to get their approval, and hopefully they're watching your matches and realizing that. And Scott will always be real with me. A lot of times when I'm wrestling on Impact, I'll be so worried about going over my time that I'm not really at my 100%, and you can tell sometimes I'm in my head, but then when I'm not there, even Dave Chris said the same thing to me. They both said, when they see me on indie shows, they're like, man, you're up here, you're like ridiculously amazing, but when we see you at Impact, it's like you're almost not having fun, you're almost in your head. It's because I'm so worried to go over on time.
Well, what's the
every
punishment?
Single time. So I just think I'm getting more comfortable. For the longest time, I never even spoke up. And now I speak up. Now I'm like, hey, I want to be somebody here. So I've pulled, Scott aside and be like, hey, man, what do I got to do to raise my stock here? What do I got to do to get more? What do I got to do to get more opportunities? Have you seen me take advantage of all the opportunities that you've given me? I will talk to Petey Williams. I talk to Jimmy Jacobs. I throw ideas at them. Now, nowadays I'm constantly in their face saying, hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? What do I got to do this? Because I'm not okay with the role anymore, you know what I mean? I want more. And it's not me saying, oh, I'm unhappy. No, I just want to be a competitive force in Impact Wrestling because I believe that I can be.
Well, you should always want to be more.
I think my in-ring work shows that, too, because he's been like, hey, you've been more comfortable in the ring. We need to see more of this of you. So that's what I've been trying to do.
See, you had a question?
I don't remember.
What was? Is there
sorry.
No, it's fine. I think you're about to ask about the punishment. Like,
Oh, yeah. So if you go over on your time, what exactly happens? Like, do you get scolded? Do you get, a week off?
Yeah, you'll get scolded and stuff like that, but then I'm not that high up on the card, you know what I mean? So if I'm taking away from someone that is high up on the card, that's not going to look good for me.
Okay.
And that's going to look like, well, this guy can't stick to his times.
Going into
give him
business for
less
yourself.
time, and then if you leave too much time on the table, that's not a good thing either because they're like, well, you don't want to take advantage of the time that we're giving you. So to me, I'm not good at usually, the refs will give you cues and stuff, but I'm not really good at, like, when I'm out there at just a show, I don't care, and I'm usually I hit my time spot on, but for some reason when I'm in front of the camera on, like, TV, it's not being on TV that bothers me because it's just another indie show, and an aspect to me, it's just another show because it's just performing in front of a bigger crowd. But it's like, man, I gotta remember to make sure my ass is on time. But I think I'm just gonna try to just forget about it when I get out there from now on, and just go with the flow and see what happens.
So, obviously, we want to say thank you so much for calling in, man. We really appreciate it. Like I said,
thank
you were
you.
the first ever fucking guest that we've had, and we've had some other guests on since. But literally, you sitting down in studio with us, going over all of the stuff before Impact, and now you calling in and talking about the stuff with Impact.
Yeah, it was right before his tryout. Like, he was going to drive up there that weekend.
Yeah, right. Hopefully get that contract and everything like that, because we had just won the Global Forged. So. Again, thank you.
So this was like before Ottawa, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep. You were on your way up there.
Oh man, that's right. Holy shit, that's awesome.
Hey man, we've been around a while, dude, and like I said, you were the first ever interview, so we have to say thank you so much for that. And obviously, the American Lucha Libre stuff coming on this Saturday. Go ahead and tell the people where else you're going to be coming up within the next couple weeks.
Well, it's been on the 29th. It's been about 5 years, but I'm finally wrestling in Saginaw again, which is my hometown, and I'm wrestling for the first promotion that I ever wrestled for, which is PPW, Pure Pro Wrestling, and it's kind of a big deal. A lot of people haven't seen me wrestle in a long time, like people I know. Sometimes they'll watch Impact, sometimes they won't, but everyone's always talking that shit. Oh, we want to come see you wrestle. When are you going to wrestle in town? So I kind of put everybody on blast. Like, look, man, I'm going to be in town here. And everyone's been really cool. They've been buying tickets. They've been hitting me up saying, hey, we're going to go, and hey, can I get some tickets from you, and this, that, and the other. And so far, there's a decent amount of people that I know going, so it's kind of a big deal for me. Saginaw is one of the places that I cut my teeth for the old, Universal Wrestling Alliance. It was an old promotion that I loved working for when it was had such a hotbed of like old school wrestling. And now just going back there, I get to work with Aaron Orion, wrestle him, so I can't wait. I know he can go in the ring, so I couldn't choose a better opponent as far as on that roster who I'm working with. So that's going to be fantastic. So that's where I'm going to be after that. And then after that, I think it's Glory Pro down in, I think it's Collinsville, Illinois. I always say St. Louis because it's like 10 minutes away from St. Louis.
Right.
And I know Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's going to be on that show, and I'll be in a tournament for like their Midwest Territory title, which I love the name of it because it reminds me of just such an old school title.
Nice. Taking on Danny Adams for that one, right?
Yeah, whooping his ass.
Nice. And tell all the people where they can find you on your social media: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, Twitter. That's at Hakeem Zane, HAKIMZANE. Of course, Raju Zane 80 for good old Instagram. You can look me up on YouTube under promos and matches. And then, of course, Facebook, using either the old school moniker, the Mad Dragon Hakeem Zane, or Rohit Raju. And I want to thank you guys, man. I remember when I was in studio, I had a blast. I was like, oh my God, we can drink and all that stuff. That was great. And, I had a blast, and just talking with you guys and shooting the shit with Chris is one of my favorite things to do anyway. So, and then shooting the shit with you guys and just talking about wrestling.
I personally
doesn't get any better than that, man. I love it.
I personally
We
took
gotta do Star Wars one of these days, though.
Yep.
Let's go.
I would say I personally took up the podcast myself just for the drinking.
Smart guy.
Drinking or not, I'll do it.
And hopefully, man, we'll get you in studio again one day. Definitely, we'll talk some nerd stuff. We'll talk about how shitty Dark Phoenix was.
Oh, God.
You got.
I can't even touch that, man. I can't bring myself to see
I
it.
haven't seen it yet. I heard it was bad.
I walked out on Wednesday.
So hopefully,
Holy
man.
shit, you walked out like something like $20 for a ticket and then walked out.
No, I was paid $9.
That's a lot.
It was a free ticket because my cousin got AMC platinum shit.
Good.
So
Nice.
So he just used his cousin's points.
No, the AMC A Plus, you get like 3 free tickets per week.
Yeah. So yeah, man, we definitely want to get you in studio again. Hopefully, sometime in the near future. Probably once you, shortly after you get one of your first championships up there in Impact. Hopefully, you get a tag team title
Jesus
or some
Christ,
other run,
hopefully.
man. Hey, look, dude, you're fucking putting in the work. You're definitely showing out. You're obviously leaps and bounds above where you were just the first time we talked to you. So we can't wait to talk to you again in the future. And yeah, man, you got to come down to the family bar again, and I can get you a little bit drunker than you were last time. And maybe you could throw me at Jake
I
and
don't
make
know
me.
I don't know if that's possible.
Look, you gotta try. There's gotta be goals, sir.
Yeah, you're
Up
right.
your standards,
There has to be
nigga.
goals. There has to be goals.
All right, man. Well, thank you again so much for calling in, brother. Definitely appreciate you talking to us, and we can't wait to talk to you again.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, man. See you later. Talk to you. Bye.
Later.